Hey guys, I'm Mike and I go by Hawk. Today I wanted to do a little bit of a tutorial on a particular mission in Jump Space that has been giving some newer players a bit of grief. As you can see, I have it pulled up here. It is Cargo Ship Raid, and I'm doing a difficulty 5 in Kren. Just my personal preference, but you will probably be starting with this mission pretty quickly in, say, difficulty 1, difficulty 2, and people sometimes have trouble understanding what they're supposed to do in this mission in order to win. So there are certain win conditions that have to be met, and certain things that you will have to do, certain strategies you'll have to employ in order to defeat this mission. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this screenshot away, and we will go ahead and start the video, and I will walk you guys through my thought process and what I'm doing here to be able to beat this mission. So I just jumped in, I'm heading in. As you can see, the cargo ship is up ahead. First of all, there's going to be weak points available on the ship. There's 2 up on top. You're going to shoot those, destroy them, and that's going to call in enemy ships. It's also going to start the mission off proper.
Good job.
Now there's going to be 2 that spawn on the right side of the ship, and as I said, enemy ships are going to be coming in just as Iris announced.
Well done, Adrian.
As you can see, I am not worrying about the enemy ships coming in. Buddy's on the guns, that's his job. My job is to disable the freighter. The biggest reason why you want to hyper-focus on disabling the freighter rather than dealing with the ships that are spawning in is because the ships never stop spawning until the freighter is disabled. While the freighter is active, ships will continue to spawn endlessly. So if you take them all out, you're just going to get another wave instantly. It's going to put a strain on your materia, it's going to put a strain on your ammo, it's going to put a strain on your ship's hull and shields.
Ship needs activated. That's another one.
That is ultimately what is going to be the downfall of a lot of people, because a lot of people try to wipe the ships and then deal with the freighter, and that's not an option in this one. There is another type of cargo raid where the cargo ship is landed, and that one you have to deal with the enemy ships first. Once the enemy ships are dealt with, then you can land on the freighter. You're not going to be disabling it like this. Then you're going to be jumping on the freighter, and now you can see I've dealt with the freighter. Now I had pizza power buffed up. I decided to try and take the fight out to some flying ships while Buddy healed the ship. This is not relevant to you guys. You won't need to do this. I was just goofing off because I had a really powerful artifact. But as you can see, Buddy here, he destroys the ship before I can even get to it, so I just turn around and come right back. There was no point in continuing, and the other ships are far enough away that getting to them in a timely fashion would be better on the ship. So once the freighter is disabled, that's when you worry about the ships. Take the ships out, and then your ship's not getting shot while you're dealing with the inside of the freighter getting the cargo out. So as you can see, I hop in the pilot seat here, and I go deal with the remaining ships.
The ship needs ammo. Build ship ammunition in the assembler.
And because you'll notice the timer's running, I've got 8 minutes up on the clock. I'm probably not going to mess with this Corvette, and generally speaking, when I'm doing these kinds of missions, I won't, because you don't have time. As much as I love the ingots that the components can give, I'd rather not fail the mission by running out of time, because there is an endless wave of fleets coming in at the end of that 8 minutes. Hey guys, okay, so in editing this, I realized that I forgot one little detail that I really wanted to mention to you guys, and that is, while you see me parking the ship in this clip, because I personally feel like I had time to do it, and it's just personal preference, but many people that I have played with prefer to not park the ship at all. They prefer to leave it hovering near the doors at an angle so that the grapple points are easily accessible. Now this can potentially speed up your process, can make it a little bit faster for you to get the crates out. So if you are struggling and you need to shave every possible second off of the mission, then perhaps not parking the ship and putting it at an angle near the doors is the right call for you. So first thing, I deal with the fires on the ship, so the ship's not actively taking damage while I am dealing with the freighter. And then once that's done, I'm going to jump to the freighter and I'm going to start the mission. Start gathering up the cargo crates.
The ship needs ammo. Build ship ammunition in the assembler.
And it's the end of the mission. I'm not worried about putting the fire hydrant back. I'm the only one in there. It's not going to make a difference. So now I personally, the way I do this, I know I've got time to grab this loot. Generally speaking, I would recommend against that. Especially in a team situation, I'd recommend everybody focus on the objective, and then if there's time afterwards, then grab the loot. But there's a couple of tricks I'm going to show you guys that'll make this a little bit easier. Now, like I said, I have pizza power, so like spider tanks are going down in a single shot from my Mark III halberd. Things are not going to last long. Generally speaking, though, especially on lower difficulties, I'd recommend having at least one or two players who is ignoring the enemies and just worrying about cargo. And then the rest can give them cover fire. And if you're playing solo, it becomes even more imperative that if you can avoid the enemies, you should. So I come up here, I crack open the first cargo crate, Iris just discovered where it was. And I'm going to show you guys some tricks here on how to get around the map quickly. I'm looking for the grapple point. I'm disconnecting just before I hit the grapple point. Then I'm going to do my double jump, and I'm going to hold down the jump button to get a little bit of a hover. Because when you're holding down the jump button, whether that's space or A for you, whether you're using mouse and keyboard or controller, then you get a little bit of a hover in the air while you're holding the button. And you can then continue to hop and continue to double jump and hold down the button, and this will continue. Your momentum will continue so long as you don't come to a slow down. If you jump before you slow down immediately after hitting the ground, then you will keep your momentum and keep going, or at least a little ways. Now, of course, those laser eye bots, I want those dead immediately because they do a ton of damage. So you'll notice me doing this strat a lot. I'll be grappling, then I'll do a double jump, and then I'll hold the button, and then try to jump again. In this particular map, I tend to bounce off that wall, which kills my momentum, which deadens the jump, but in theory, you should be able to keep hopping and keep your momentum for a good distance. Not permanently, but for a good ways. And that allows you to get the crates out much faster. Be mindful of those grapple points. If you grapple, release before you hit the grapple point, because if you get all the way to the grapple point, you're just going to go up where the grapple is, and it's going to kill your momentum. Release just before you hit the grapple point, do a double jump, and then hold the button. You're going to hover with a lot of momentum. You're going to fly, even though you're carrying a heavy object that prevents you from running. You're going to be able to move very quickly, and then continue to do that hop strategy on and out the door. And this allows you to basically fly through the mission. Again, you can see I hit that wall there. That's it. That's just a me thing. I do that a lot by accident. Certainly not intended, and certainly preventable, but it's going to take a little more practice on my part before I get good at doing that. Now, like I said, you are on a time constraint, and here I messed up. I put the cargo crate not on the catwalk. As you can see, I'm not even putting the cargo crates inside the ship. I'm just putting them on the catwalk. Now, this works whether you're using the dart or the catamaran. It doesn't matter. As long as you put the cargo on the ship on a valid floor space, then it will recognize that you have gathered the cargo and will progress the mission. And you're able to jump out without ever putting the cargo inside the ship. This allows you to speed it up, because the sooner you get the cargo down on the ship, the sooner the next cargo crate is going to spawn in. And here again, even though it's in the opposite direction, I'm using the grapple point because of the speed boost it's going to give me. And as you can see, I'm really not fighting the bots very much. In fact, I'm pretty much ignoring them. There was a laser drone shooting at me just there, and I just ignored it. I'm pretty much dealing only with things I absolutely have to. They're in my way. And with pizza power, things go down in a single shot from this halberd, so it makes things pretty quick and easy. Excuse me.
One less to worry about.
And as you can see, I've already dealt with the cargo that I needed to deal with to complete the mission. If you're out of time, don't worry about the bonus cargo. You only have to get the first 3 on the ship, and then you can complete the mission and have a successful mission. The remaining 3 are bonus. You don't need them, but they will give you extra rewards should you get them. I, as you can see, had almost 3 minutes left at this point, and that's more than enough time for me to grab everything. So there was no reason for me to not go for the bonus cargo. And this is a situation that you're going to run into frequently if you're using this grapple technique to get around quickly, and if you're not spending the whole time fighting the bots. This is why in multiplayer it's good to have one or two guys, because it usually takes at least two guys to crack a crate open. So two guys focusing on gathering crates and getting them back to the ship, and having two guys providing cover fire. Because there will be a lot more bots in multiplayer than what I am currently dealing with. Even though this is difficulty 5, there's far fewer bots because I'm playing solo than there would be if you were playing with a crew.
Good job. You can leave the sector.
Now that's all the crates. I've gotten the bonus crates and everything. I'm going to do a quick once-over because I've got time. There's still 2 minutes left on the clock because I was fast enough in and out with the crates that I was able to get everything in a timely fashion. So I'm just going to take a once-over, make sure there's no loot left to grab. And there really isn't. There's a couple credits, little material on the floor. The credits are all that matters. Material doesn't carry over or provide any benefit beyond the mission, so the credits are the only thing really worth grabbing at this point. And I think I grabbed all the weapons and other things that were in this mission that were worth looking at. Which is pretty much the decision I come to here, and I decide to just go ahead and leave. So that is how you do this mission type, and you do it successfully. And with this strat, you can usually get all the cargo crates, but it depends on your skill level, it depends on the skill level of your crew, and what artifacts you picked up in your run, and factors like that. So you may have to adjust. You may have to decide to ignore the bonus crates and just worry about the primary crates and then get out. I've had missions where I have to do that. And then so you'll have situations like this as well, where you can easily grab everything and have time left to spare. So that is the end of the mission. That is how my thought process on dealing with those types of missions. That is how you're going to complete that mission type successfully, and really what you need to do, the strategies you're going to have to employ in order to beat the timer, because that is the thing that people oftentimes run into, is they're either too busy fighting the enemy ships in order to be able to get to the cargo crate in time and deal with the cargo, and if you're going to run out of resources if you don't stop the freighter first. But then once you're inside, don't dilly-dally, grab the cargo, get out, ignore enemies as much as possible, use the grapple technique and the jumping that I mentioned, and that'll allow you to keep your momentum so that even though you can't run, you can get in and out of the mission in a very timely fashion. All right, guys, that's all I have for you on this one. I hope that you are having a great day, and I'll catch you next time.